the midpoint. EXO is the Axis and the P4s. 48th is the Allies and the Shermans. Should be a good match here. 48th looked pretty good in the group stage. I think they came out number 2 at the end. And then EXO, I believe, was number 3 in the Panzer group. So should be a good fight here. Interested to see how these teams play it. I think they've all played this map a bunch, kind of a classic DMT map and classic DMT point. So obviously whoever takes that high ground up north usually does okay. And then the Allies definitely got to utilize the city. They had some wild flanks. Haven't seen a whole lot of teams do great pushing straight up the rails, just because everybody knows that's where you're going to come from. So got Mr. Lucky here is the ref, looking at his view and admin cam, and looks like they're off.
They're off, and EXO is going 4 wide.
4 wide, love it. Let me pull up the map here. What's the 48th got going on? Oh, controller disconnected. That's no good.
48th is looking like they are hugging the bottom a little bit heavier. 1 is going through town center.
Love to see that. Yep. You gotta control the town. You gotta have tanks obviously on hard cap right there in the middle in that rail yard station.
Yeah.
But I've seen these games get won by who controls, it's kind of that road on the city side.
Who can control the flank?
Correct. And then who can control that map edge where the yellow roads come to a point down at the bottom of was that F8? If you can control those 2 points, you're usually doing pretty well.
Here comes one ballsy 48 tank coming right down the rail.
I love it. He made it in there pretty far. Usually the Allies get swacked.
Yeah, well, it looks like EXO's taking a little bit slower approach in. And so he's able to, make that move and get into those train cars before he can get seen and get popped early. But here he comes.
Oh man, that 48th tank
weaseled his way in. Yep.
Man, if only he
first round out.
I think. But the EXO does have a tank in hard cap. So
48th missed.
And
48th goes down, but he did get 1 round into him.
This looks like they got another tank rolling straight in the front door. He's going to go up north. Miss that EXO tank. Somebody's fire alarm above me is going off. That's great.
They did mark out a tank. They know there's a tank down there. I got 3 marks that just went off. So EXO knows there's a tank lurking.
Look at these, the 2
big shot from the hill. Ricked off, but second one connected.
He's going to get shot in the side. Nope. Tank missed it. Let's see if he flips around.
Knock, knock. Go grab a new one.
He's
trading on the hard flank to the far south.
Yep, they did ping out the tank that's on Mount Halas. The 48th did.
Yep, and 48th just put a round into him, and then that tank got marked out on its own right. Double reps early for Bible Slaughter and Company.
Got a little fight going on here in the city. P4 just got 1 round put into him and just went down. So the city side Sherman tank doing his job, taking out their flank there.
See, looks like the Halai PZ did get his reps, but that Sherman is coming in to grab him from behind. First round, both trade, both go in. Sherman's got the advantage if he can get the round out.
Oh, nice. Looks like the P4 had the advantage there.
P4 got the shot, but
yeah, to go into tracks, his second shot there, I think it did.
I think it did. Recon planes are going out.
Yeah, nice two tank trade there, 2v2.
Yep.
48th Recon gets the one just outside of hard cap. They did not get the one back behind.
And that City Sherman is making his loop down that hockey stick road.
Yep, I love it. That's what I'm saying. These teams both have played this map enough. They know you can get in behind as the allies. That is your best bet.
P-strike early. Oh. Missed him. Almost looked like there was just a bad mark.
I think he was there and then moved. He moved up.
Moved harder into hard cap.
Yeah, correct. So always the tricky part with those, P strikes off a recon plane. Most people now gotten good enough where they realize when one is available, and when you hear that recon plane go over,
just move
your tank a little bit. Yeah.
It's like a dinner bell going off.
Exactly.
Oh, that P4 might catch a glimpse. Sherman's going to go under the rails and try and sneak in the back. Second Sherman's coming off Hawaii and crashing in himself. Third Sherman's making his way in. And EXO is just getting their third and fourth tank up and out of mid and bottom. First shot goes in the PZ. He's trying to get the gun around. I don't think he'll be able to swing it in time. Double tap. He's gone. Now it's a 3v1, and 48th is looking to get their first cap off. Looks like both EXO tanks coming into the fight are going to be taking that Hawaii route in. While the Lone Ranger is just trying to hold it off until he gets some backup in.
Yep, and well done by the 48th to hit the and then push one front door, and looks like they're going to get a successful cap here. So get the points started going in your favor pretty quick there.
Yep. And just like that, the flip has happened. Now 48th is going to start getting some pretty valuable points of just holding that point off. Look at that. Both P4s rolling right over Mount Hawaii.
Yeah, I think that's going to be they're going to have a slight advantage here because that's the point. When 48th is holding it, they can't go sit up there.
Yeah.
Which usually you'll see teams, you can essentially keep them out of their the center HQ or the rails, and then the bottom if you can park a Sherman up there. So
all four Shermans playing. Looks like EXO is going to grab a couple.
Yeah, 48th did get the tank down on map edge. Shit ton of pings just went out.
Furthest west tank is engaging with the first tank to come off of Hawaii. Private Jack's trying to get those reps off, but here comes the P4. Down he goes. That Sherman did peel off and disappear back into town. Final EXO tank is officially on the field and coming out of that bottom point. P4, who's been lurking to the east of the hard cap, is starting to wake himself up. But he might have a present he's not ready for. He's peeking.
Yeah. I do like where that Sherman's at. That is a cheeky little spot shooting over that wall.
Oh, yeah. And I hear a P4 coming in from the south. So he should have a little bit of backup, but he's going to disengage off that T.
Ooh, but the one that's in the city side is going to catch him, I think.
Yeah.
By that crane. If he rounds that corner, he's going to get shot in the side here. If the TC is doing his job. Yep. They're turning the gun. They're pinged it out. So it's not on the tank, but they got a ping on that corner. So they must be communicating, hey, that guy's coming around the corner here.
They're engaging south of point as well. That P4 got caught with his pants down in the open.
Oh, no. Yep.
It's hard to shoot into that little train yard because there's a lot of crap to get hung up on.
Correct. Well, I think all they're going to be able to see, right, is turret. And so you got to put 3 into the turret, which usually in these games you don't get the time to shoot 3 shots.
No. Once that first one goes out, there, Sherman holding the cheeky spot got around in and capitalizes on it.
Up the P4.
P4's burning.
Yep, the one that is out front door. They just put a ping on him, and I think the Sherman was going to push, but then realized, and I think the P4 now knows there's a tank there.
Yep,
so,
and that
standoff going on here.
That P4 way down south put one into the hard cap Sherman, force him to back off for a minute.
They do have a Sherman going 4th gear, map edge. So see if that guy comes and clears these tanks out.
Yep, I see him. Sherman holding the flank. Finally gets one in this P4 that's been flirting on the back end.
A lot of P4s on fire right now.
Yeah, all 3 of them are on fire. Oh. Can he get the second shot out? engined him. Not quite
I don't think he
fully.
did.
I must have grabbed a little bit of track.
Oh, the ram. I love it.
There's
Ram him.
slugfest.
Gunner can't see. Oh, there he
Gunners
goes.
are screaming. I got no fucking eyes.
Yeah. My screen is not black. I assume they're in front of us.
So the Sherman
out.
takes that P4 is on the move with a mark, but his gun is not looking the right direction. In the orchard, they trade. Doesn't get a pin off on that second shot. P4's got a chance. P4 wins that one.
Yep, they also won.
And then the Sherman lost.
Yep, won a fight front door as well. They just lost another Sherman.
Yep, so now it's 2-2 with one close to point and one on the outer edge.
I love it.
And third tank is going to be coming down tracks at fourth gear pinned. Recon for EXO goes out right over the point. Looks like it'll grab at least the one in hard cap, possibly the second on the west end.
All right, brother. Well, that's it for me. I gotta go jump in this other game.
Good luck.
Yep,
I'll hold down the fort.
Good fighting here from these two teams. Really like what we're seeing.
P-Strike coming in. See if they can connect on it. Hits him, but does not get the kill. Again, we have EXO in the 48th. EXO being the Axis, currently on offense, trying to get into the point, while 48th has locked the train station down for now. EXO does have 3 tanks up, waiting for their 4th. And the 48th has kind of had to circle the wagons here inside the rail yard. See that Sherman gun tracking. TC marks him. P4 is sending rounds at the secondary Sherman just to keep him at bay. Richthoff. Couple non-pins for the Sherman into the P4, and the P4 is just hauling, trying to find a way in to really fight him. Opens the door, though, for that second P4 to get a good round into him and force him to back off. Misses the second shot. And we are just duking it out over the hard cap. That P4 goes down, taking one round from each Sherman. They see each other. P4 takes the round, Sherman misses. They're both on fire and taking cover where they can. And we do have a Sherman sneaking around to the south. So he's making sure nobody's up there, because that has been where EXO's been hurting him the most. What looked like a fairly decent push from EXO gets fizzled out once that P4 went into the hard cap and got taken out, while not getting rid of one of the Shermans. And now the Shermans are on the move to press the issue. EXO has a recon going out. They're going to grab a couple of them, possibly all three. Here comes that Sherman pressing it. First round hits, P4 misses off the impact. Command is also marking that Sherman to the south. Reinforcements coming in, able to swipe them. And Mers is just doing everything he can to keep that tank up. He's taken rounds a few times. While they also start training the guy to the south. No impacts from either crew. I mean, we are looking at tiny lines of sight. With 48th getting closer to their shots, that P4 backs off. But here comes Sherman pressing him. Ricks off the side. Gets one in. Not enough though, because he didn't get full reps. And that P4 is down while this secondary has finally made a move in towards the hard cap. But he is surrounded on three sides. One Sherman in town, one to the south, and one off the eastern end. P4 takes a round. Sherman takes a round. Both back off knowing they're caught in no man's land. But the P4 in hard cap gets an angle and gets the kill, leaving it 1-1 in the immediate. .48th early and often running around town and then coming out of that backside. He's hoping to get an angle, and they might be on a collision course for each other. Sherman's pushed into the rail yard, getting ready to send around. Misses. P4 missed. He is getting pushed by 2. Sherman gets the round in. P4 misses off the wall. Oh. Comes the second Sherman, getting ready to finish him off. And finally, after quite a few shots, he goes down. And just like that, EXO has been swept off. And 48 can retake the point fully. P4 sees a Sherman, waiting to get a shot. Guns tracking, gets one in. They trade. Neither able to get that second round in, though. They trade north of the tracks. Sherman goes down. Secondary Sherman is looping. Without a doubt, that P4 has been marked, and here comes the Sherman from the 48th. That gun's getting spun around, ready to take the shot. He's cleaned up. One P4 once again left off the road to the east of point, trying everything he can to just stay alive. .48 knows where they've been, coming around. First round goes into the engine. 2 shots. Clean house. It's going to be Hawk, Rebel Cowboy, and Nettie. Recon has come into play for EXO. He is bumping through town. Second Puma has just been delivered to somebody at an HQ. So the 48 does have a tank to the south on their own hill. Like Goat was discussing earlier, they can't take over Halai because of the point. And then they have two circling the cap, with their fourth making its way back in. Right now, EXO just has a recon in play. Flirting around, seeing if he can pop a shot and back off quick. They do have two P4s and a second recon going all the way to map edge. Hoping the first one can give him a little picture of what's going on. Tank to the south's been marked out. That'll be time for the big guns of the P4s to find him and take him out. Puma's wasting no time leading the charge, trying to get that first round into the rear. 75 doesn't quite see him yet. As long as that Puma can stay far enough to the south, he should be okay. A little bump around the road. Second recon has gone all the way around train station, making his way to join up. P4 start trading rounds with the Sherman. Sherman backs off, but he's going to roll right into the waiting Pumas, as there is a pair closing on him. One shot's all it took. .48 has a recon of its own going out. P-strike coming in. No joy for the second 48th P-strike. Their commander has gone over. Puma might be walking into something he can't get himself out of. Second Puma's right there with him. Gets one round in the engine. Second round in the engine, and then he starts bailing as the Sherman makes a spin. Now starts the dance. Secondary Puma missed his shot, but keeping that Sherman on his toes while the P4s move in on the tank inside the rail yard. One's going for some freestyle while the other's on fire. They're trading rounds. First P4 goes down. Puma's trying to sneak in to try and help out. And another Sherman has come into play off the rails to the west. Puma gets behind, gets one round in. Second Puma got caught and gets taken. both Pumas are gone, while causing mayhem, only getting 1 kill out of it. And back down to 1 P4. They've got the fuel. They're just waiting on that clock. Every 4 minutes or so, able to push a P4 out. P4 did get around in onto Viper's tank. Starts to back up while a second Sherman makes a move. Misses off of a hedge, allowing the P4 to mark him. They start trading rounds. They're both hurting. Who can finish it first? P4 misses. The Sherman keeps on trucking by. And again, Sherman's going to the south. If the Sherman on the road pushed up, he might be able to get a shot in. P4 gets lucky, gets the Sherman, but he's got 2. One to the far south trades with him. Lets him know, you're not out of the woods yet. All 3 converge and take out the lone P4, while his reinforcements are making their way into the back end of the point. While the 48 didn't get the initial cap off, they were able to wedge their way in, get their own first cap, and have really sank their claws in and not giving it up. P4 might have just barely seen that Sherman as he starts to peek out. Takes one off the tracks instead. Gives him one for the road and backs off. P-strike coming in. Not able to grab it. And with 36 minutes left, we are fresh out of P-strikes. Recons will only be a visual aid at this point. .48 doing a double rep while the P4's made his reps and is back in the fight. Getting that gun back, not quite aware that the 75 has moved, while holding a very strong angle. EXO does have another tank rolling out of the mid HQ. Sherman says, I won't pick this fight, I'll just go hunker in. Wait for you to come at a later time. And the one on the edge of town is just patrolling. So we've got a Puma that snuck his way onto map edge. They've marked. Another P4 is wrapped around the town. Gets a shot into the incoming. He's marked out. That Sherman's trying to thread a shot in between the train cars. It's a rough spot for the P4 though, because if he comes out, he will find out the Sherman's got a buddy. Puma starts playing with the Sherman up top. P4 kills the Sherman on tracks, but he's getting wrapped up himself. Sherman to the south is on fire with the Puma circling. This 75 is coming down the road. Will miss the P4 for now, but he knows he's around. 3 separate engagements and 1 set of eyes. Giving you guys the best view I can. While back at point, it appears to be a Mexican standoff. P4 sends around, misses though. He's trying to get that tank up top. Connects on the second shot. Can he get the kill off? Yes, he does. Able to take one from downtown. Lets the Sherman know where he's at though. And that TC better be scanning. Because here he comes. EXO is up to full force. 3 P4s and a Puma. First P4 does get engine. He will go down. Puma's like, oh, we'll try another way in. Now the Sherman that was sitting north of the tracks has made a full rotation and is getting ready to go up to the hill that the 48th has been so keen on holding. As they send their own recon plane out. Puma's got to be careful he doesn't come through the wrong opening and fall right into the 75's lap. P4 starts engaging from the train yard. Gets around and misses the second. What are we doing here? Second P4 is looping around him. Great driving from that P4. Getting the shot lined up. Not quite the angle they want, so they're going to press him a little harder. 75 is tunnel visioned right now. They see him. Rick's off. and backs up. He's got support coming in the front door. As EXO actually is halfway to capping, they trade. Puma's coming to try and slow down that second 75 for just a moment. P4 unable to, again, get the kill off inside the walls. But his buddy finishes the job. One P4 sitting on the tracks. He has been marked out as that Puma drove right by him. And another lurking around the mansion up top. Gonna try and hold up here and hopefully get a view. They might just barely see that turret as it went by. But that Sherman goes under the tracks. Slowing up as he knows there's somebody down there. Gonna say no thank you. I will go right back in to the walls. EXO getting really close to getting that cap out. However, 48th is looking to try and stop it as they crash one in the hard point and the second one into the soft cap. Now they will just stall it out. EXO's final tank is coming back into the fight. As is another Sherman out of their bottom spawn. Recon was very successful lighting up with the pings all around. With that, the P4 crawls out from behind the broken house onto the rails, trying to figure out where these guys snuck in at. Puma possibly sees .48 Recon goes, and it's going to grab one on the tracks. Third Sherman is lurking off the northwest corner. Sherman takes the first shot and misses it. P4 lines up his, connects. Second P4 trying to send around and unable to get it through the tanks. Ricks and carnage all around. Puma's getting in on the fight. while the 75s are at full strength for the moment, coming down the front door. One dangerously close to the Puma. He's stuck in a hard spot. Sherman goes down deep. All out war here in the final quarterfinal match. Three tanks on fire, multiple descending rounds where they can. Puma goes down, leaves the Sherman broadside. New Sherman takes out the one inside the cap. And as quick as the fights start, they start to fizzle out. That P4 knows there's a hurt Sherman, and he takes him out. Got to get the gun around to grab the final. Connects. They try to pick up speed. Gun makes a turn. Trading out. Looks like it might have gotten track on one of those two. And a 2v1 where 2/3 of involved are hurting big time. They both back off. .48 scrambling here to get their tanks back in the fight. Losing 3 in quick succession does not help, as there's bound to be a cooldown factor. EXO, on the other hand, does complete the cap and tries to lock it down to hopefully hold it for the last 23 minutes of the match. Sherman crew feels safe enough, backed off into the town a bit to get a double rep off from Scope and Jack. One P4 coming in down the tracks while the final crew awaits their tank. EXO does have to get off that soft cap with that 4th point. Letting them know at least, hey, we're down here, come and find us. As there might be some action in town. P4 peels out before the Sherman can see him. As the Sherman comes down the same road. Recon's gonna go around the 48th and it's gonna grab 2. 48th does have two tanks roaming around the church right now, getting ready to possibly flank in from the back end of town, as they still await two crews to get up and running. Over. Now the winner of this match will go on to face the winner of 101 against RDG and ZSR, which is also happening right now. And that will make our second semifinal matchup. The first being Taco and SAS, as they won their matches earlier in the week. Both semis will be one to watch, as it's shaping up to potentially be a North American versus EU final. Third Sherman makes its way through town, looking to rally up with his two counterparts near the church. We have two P4s floating around Halai and the surrounding hills to the south, while two lock down the front door. Will be interesting to see how the 48th makes their play. Might grab the third tank that just showed up, but gonna miss the other two. No marks go out, so it appears it did in fact miss. .48 sends out their own. It will grab 3 of the 4, only missing the P4 that's floating around the blue-red line. And with that recon going out, the Shermans do start to wake up around the church and start shuffling to the south ever slowly. Here comes the possible probe from 48th. Might catch a glimpse. He backs off. When P4 starts shifting towards the town, feeling that there's got to be something going on over here. As he's rotated off of Halai. Sherman ever so slowly creeping up. Just as the P4 starts to back off, it is a game of inches in the DMT setting. Fourth and final, 48th Sherman is making its way onto the field, coming around the top end at church right now. Letting one of the others start to shuffle south to join his buddy on the front. Creeping into that 10 minutes left, 48th has really just one more hard push in him. Both teams not having the time left on the clock to afford losing too many, with the ability to get them back in. Recon goes up, scanning the HQ to try and see what's going on. But what it's not going to show them is that they are making their move. Two P4 still sitting on the front door. They start trading rounds with the first Sherm to come over the tracks. To no effect yet as they're catching on walls and buildings. Second Sherman makes its move. Into the front door of the P4, they start sending rounds at each other, closing in. Up close and personal. Sherman is not able to survive. P4's hurting as he's going to get a second Sherman right off his nose. Nowhere to go, no reps to be had. That P4 goes down, but not before he takes out the first 75. P4 gets one in, forces him to back up. While the third P4 is still sitting on the red-blue line, finally making his way back in out of that E8 sector. And the final two Shermans have made their prayers, made their beds, and coming in for the final fight. EXO does have a tank waiting, so they're quickly able to get that fourth one back in the fight, and he's probably going to be making a strong push down the tracks. V3 at the moment. Fourth EXO tank, like I said, is coming in just on the north end of those tracks. On the top right end of our screen. P4 puts one in. Sherman ricks off. P4 misses a second. Sherman gets one in. Could have the potential for a 2-for-1 here. Backside Sherman does see him. Comes short on the shot, hitting that rubble pile, hits it again. But the P4 sends the Sherman running and starts engaging the secondary tank. That Sherman backs off. Third Sherman now starting to make his way down into the fight. While the 75 is doing a wraparound, gonna catch the P4 that was just finishing up its reps. Unable to connect. P4, though, not making the spin, gives up his engine. And he goes down. Recon plane going over. With that tail P4 going down, it sends the two that we're watching the front door into a frenzy to try and get that cap out. Now the Sherman backing up. On the nose, gets the first shot into the P4. Can the P4 get on it quick enough? He does, but he is hurting himself. He goes down. Sherman on fire, stays up. And kills two P4s, making it a 3v2 in favor of the 48th. P4 you can see disengaging going into town. What I thought was a lag was the 48th gunner just letting that 30 cal eat. P4 takes around from front door Sherman. He tries to peel out and he gets away momentarily. Just over 4 minutes left in the match, and they are not going to go out without a fight. .75 moves in, takes a round off the side plate, but it ricks out. He ricks off the front. Second P4 round goes in, and they start engaging at the edge of town. That P4 bounced off a tree. That 75 is moving in on him, pressing the issue. .75 goes down, and EXO keeps 2 tanks up. Now it's a 2v2. However, 48th has got one into the hard cap and is taking it over. P4 presses, making more reps. They are on the nose of each other. First one to get the shot off. P4 gets him. And now they're contesting the point. Final 75 looping around to try and get the backside of this P4. And they're going to start going in circles. Two v1, 75 making a push. It comes up on the rear. Nice up close and personal. Puts one in the engine. Says, guess what, buddy? I'm right here. Takes him out. And it is a 1v1 with 2.5 minutes remaining. But EXO does have a tank making its way back in. Two tanks back in. They're 3v1. Foxy Fox, we got 2 minutes left in this bad boy. Three v one. EXO is pinching the final 48th Sherman. He might just weasel on out. Fourth EXO tank is coming in from the bottom. Just gonna beeline it into the point. They mark him. They see him. One round in, as he travels inside the walls of train, the P4 inside the train station is going to have to try and flip around. 30 seconds left. They might be able to push him to get one last kill to help the score. And with that, the final round ends of the quarterfinals. And we're going to have to go to the calculator for that one to really see who won, as it was back and forth all the way through. Thank you guys for coming out and watching. We will see you next week for the semifinals. Foxy?